Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Long Luscious Locks. Hello, Strange Reality. Hello, Lisa Colovi. Thank you for doing all you do. Hey, Jen, Northern Girl Hobbies. Hey, Barb's Country Home. Hello, Gwen Broke Cowgirl. Homestead and hey, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Hello, Holman's Homestead. Hope you guys are feeling better. Gwen's eating. She's not tagging everybody. I don't blame you. Hey, the Cow Emporium. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Andale. Hope you are doing well. I see you're laying weed fabric. I hope the Cow Emporium is having a calm day in the calving season. It comes and goes, Holman's. Oh, I'm sorry. I was afraid of that. I know you said that. Ugh. So thanks to Gwen at Broke Cowgirl Homestead for the topic tonight, because I was trying to think of something and she came up with something. And so that's what we went with. So full credit to her. So one of the things I wanted to, you guys can hear and see me okay, I'm assuming, because Holman's answered me, so I'm assuming, yeah. But a couple things coming up before we get into the seed starting. So I'm really excited because we are going to a show pig sale tomorrow. We're not looking to buy pigs. We just got invited and we're going to check that out. And we're excited to see it. It's where the kids get their 4-H pigs from. So thank you, Lisa Colovi. So excited because there's going to be a pig roast, which is amazing. But a while ago on Instagram, I had posted that if anybody wanted to share their homestead with me, a day in the life, I would love to, showcase it and do a series on it. And a rancher has reached out to me and responded and said, yes, we'd love to be a part of it. So one of the South Dakota ranchers will be featured in that series. Not sure when it'll happen, but we'll be doing that. I have somebody else on a very small homestead who milks goats and everything like that. She's going to be doing some clips for me and sending me the video clips, and I'm going to put it together. So I'm excited to showcase other homesteads. I think that'll be really cool. So if you are interested in being a part of that, please let me know. I would be happy to work with you on that. The reason why I posted it on Instagram in my stories is because I wanted to get different places that we don't see all the time, but I also like to see familiar places, if that makes sense. So I thought it would be really cool. So I'm really excited about the people who got back to me. 2 of them in particular, the small homestead, like I said, and also the large ranch that has hogs and cattle. So very, very excited about that because I think it's really important. And so the other part of it is it'll be really neat to hear from a South Dakota rancher. Now they're about an hour-ish north of us and northeast of us. And so they are more in the prairie land, in the flatlands. And so it's going to be a lot different climate for them than the climate I have. Sort of like my friend Jessie up at Rustic Sodak Farm. She's a lot warmer and a lot more flat prairie-ish land. I can talk about the cookbook again, Barb, if you'd like. Just remind me later. I will do that. But no, actually, this is all about the I'm going to be showcasing some ranches around here and some other small homesteads from friends of mine on Instagram. So I just thought it would be really cool. I think it'll be really neat to see. Hey, Strange Reality. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. So that's going to be exciting. I'm just trying to think of how to put it together. I will say this, the ranch one will probably be like a very extended version, not just a 10-minute video. So that's up to you if you want to watch, but I just don't feel that 10 minutes will do it justice because she really has a lot to say. and I want to get the information out there because she writes for one of the livestock news here and stuff, and her husband run the farm. It's been in their family or his family since 1907, but I know that she comes from a ranching family as well, so it's really cool. So, and then the cookbook, let's see here. Let me just look that up real quick. Let's see. So the cookbook, Carla sent that email out last week. So if you want to be involved in the cookbook with Carla, send me an email at yogihollowfarm20@gmail.com. I did receive an email from Blue. But if you're interested in it, send me an email and I will include you when I send the email out, if you want to be a part of it. So, and here's the email will have all the details on the cookbook that we talked about a few weeks ago, which is a homestead cookbook. I met a girl last night at game night that just recently purchased a 12-acre property, dilapidated house. I told her to start a YouTube channel. That would be awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, send me an email on that. Tonight, what I want to talk, thank you, Heather. I appreciate it. I will look later. Heather, did you just send it? Just make sure you sent it to yogihollowfarm20@gmail.com. All right. So anyway, let's talk like we've been talking about. We talked about suburban hillbilly. You're a homesteader. You grow, you garden. You don't have to have animals. So you're a homesteading hillbilly. Hate to break it to you. And we love you and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So Rebecca, if you want to be a part of it, let me know. Okay, guys. So seedlings, let's talk stages of seedlings for people. So if you know, you know, I've got tomatoes back here. I've got most of my stuff that I'm going to plant is already started back here. And the trick is how to keep them alive and well and not leggy until they go out end of May. Now I'm hoping we can get the tomatoes out sooner because we're thinking of actually heating it. I don't know. I'm leery to try. But yes, these are my tomatoes. They are almost up to the grow lights. They're about, the back one is about a half an inch from the grow light. I'm going to have to do some rotating. The snail rolls are coming along really well. And that's the key. How do you keep these things alive for so long? Now, for some people, it may be only 6 to 8 weeks before frost. For us, we tend to push it. And these tomatoes were started February 17th. The rest of the seeds were started at some point after that. And then I got a bunch there. So we'll see how it goes. I can raise the light bar, but it's a real pain in the neck because I will have to add boards to that. And it's really not a great setup. They just grew a lot compared to last year's. But thank you. And it's okay, Suburban Hillbilly. We all get caught up, and if we don't, we don't. Stuff happens. Annette says, I've been fertilizing my starts more this year than ever. They look great. Me too. Me too. I've been using the Schultz fertilizer, and these bad boys are taking off. And I did that last year. And, you know, I know, Annette, you've talked about like sometimes the nursery plants are more like fertilizer junkies, right? They struggle when they get outside because they don't get that fertilizer all the time. Luckily, I've not had that problem with this one. With using that fertilizer because it's pretty minimal. So now I've backed off with fertilizer because they're getting way too big. So what I'm doing is just keeping an eye on them to make sure that they stay dark green, they look healthy and all that. I think I have one that doesn't look well because it dries out. I probably could have used a bigger container for it, but I ran out. So if it goes, it goes. But every time I water it, it stands back up again. So we'll see how it goes. But it's really hard because there's so much to water here now. Look at this. Do you see all that? I mean, we got trays and trays and trays. But so anyway, so what are your tips for newbies starting out with seedlings? So let's see, we've got Annette's been fertilizing hers more than ever this year, and they look great. Barb's Country Home uses Dr. Earth. Is that a fertilizer of sorts? Gwen says, I start mine with the grow light on about 2 inches above the seed trays, and they pop up. As they pop up, I move the light up, keeping it an inch or so above the leaves. Nice. Nice. It's funny. My lights are in the same position all along because I mean, I've got time, so I'm not in a rush to have them germinate and all that. But I know it makes a difference, but I don't know what happened to these monstrous tomatoes. Thanks, Barb. Barb said that stuff I just mentioned is an organic fertilizer. Every time you turn around, something needs water. Oh my gosh. These tomato plants are so big that they need to be watered all the time. It's truly a bit much. But I will take watering over hardening off. Hardening off is such a pain. And Dale says it's a total guess for me every year. I'm hoping with the transition to the greenhouse and then outside will help, but it's a crapshoot every time. It can be. It certainly can be. I agree. I got trays for days. Good morning, Annette. Annie at our urban homestead, thank you. Barb's Country Home said water from the bottom of the plant. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Heather says, do plants need to be started for the whole 4 to 8 weeks, depending on plants, or can they be hardened off after first true leaves? Was just thinking. I find that they do better the larger they are when I go to harden them off. And the reason why I say that is because our sun is very, very strong here. And even if I put them in the shade, I had new seedlings that I put in the shade and they died. And they weren't out there long, but it was because it was very warm out. So that's my opinion. They don't have to be started for the whole 4 to 8 weeks, though. I would say after their first true leaves, but you just have to really go slow because the smaller they are, they tend to be more fragile, is my understanding. Once my seedlings come up, I start bottom watering in the trays under the cells. Yep, absolutely. Talk to your plants. I do. I go stop drinking so much. We seem to have more luck with seedlings than seeds for some reason. Okay. Sometimes that happens. Depending on your weather, you can put seedlings outdoors when they are tiny, as long as it's not too cold or too hot. Yes. Barb says I harden off when they are seedlings in the morning sun. Awesome. Yeah, I tend to do mine in the morning. They don't go out for long. They don't go out in the sun. I put them in the shade for a little bit. And then I gradually work up to the sun. And then if it's nice outside, I try to leave them outside on the porch overnight. But if it gets cold, I bring them in. But yeah, these are all great tips, you guys. Hardening, I mean, let's back off before hardening off. So some of the things, you water from the bottom. What about fans? So like we have a fan above here. It's a ceiling fan. And that's usually just enough to get them going. Let me see here if I can get a tomato. Hang on. So you can see these are not leggy at all. That's a really thick stalk right there. In fact, I've already had to prop them up with skewers, but on my desk it's the same size as my head. But they're really, really huge. Yep, just on low and at a distance. That's why I like the ceiling fan. I have in the past put a small fan on low, put it from a distance and let it run for about an hour and then shut it off. So that was pretty good. But I really love, like, this is not leggy at all. So that's what's really good. The sad part is this just got watered this afternoon and it needs to be watered again. We desperately need rain. The days are still quite warm, but the nights are chilly. Yeah. Yeah, rain would definitely be good for you guys. Do I have a wagon to carry the trays in and out? I do. But quite honestly, either way, bringing them in and out is a huge pain. And sometimes with the wagon, that attracts diesel. So sometimes it's easier for me to just carry them in and out. And that's the part I can't stand. I can't stand hardening them off. But I carry him in and out because then he's not inquisitive and trying to figure out the buggy, because if he sees that rolling cart like he did last year, he wants to eat the tires. Yeah, they're not root bound yet, Barb. I get what you're saying, but they're not root bound because I did pull them out. I mean, they're getting there, but not yet. We are warm enough that as soon as true leaves come, we can bury them in the ground up to the bottom of the leaves. And plus, I don't have a choice. They got to stay in here until they go outside. So they're just massive this year. It's crazy. Hold on, guys. Yeah, the soil is moist, but this is also the room that our pellet stove runs in, and we're still cold at night. So you have to understand, we had a almost 70-degree day today, and then we had the pellet stove running this afternoon. So that dries everything out because we don't have any humidity. I started those on February 17th, Jen. Hello. But yeah, so I mean, we didn't have the issue with them getting root bound last year. Luckily, this year I'm hoping not to again, but like I said, backed off the fertilizer to see how that goes. But they're massive. They're just massive. So I'm going to do some switching around. But I know a lot of it is the pellet stove, which dries everything out because it dries me out. So what are your other suggestions for seedlings, like keeping them alive, or, you know, the hardening off process? Just what are some things you want to share with folks? And I think sometimes it depends by zone too, because zone is super important as well. Thank you. I had to adjust my chicken door because it just closed and it's still light out. But luckily Ryan wrangled the chickens back in. I have a few volunteer tomatoes that look better than the ones I just planted. Oh, that's funny. Gwen said something about that earlier. It always amazes me how good volunteer tomatoes in the garden look compared to my starts. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. So what are your suggestions for hardening off, like besides the sun and stuff? Like, how many days do you do it? How many days would you suggest a newbie do it? For me, the hardening off process is the worst part. I can't stand carrying them in and out, especially the first couple days, because I end up carrying them out and then it's time to carry them back in. You know, when they're out for longer, it's better. Gwen says she does at least a week, and you're going to send me a picture of the volunteer tomatoes. Awesome. I do less than a week, but I do about a week, I should say. I am not a fan of the hardening off process, even though I know it's important, but I tend to rush it. And I judge how the plants are looking. If the plants are looking okay, then I can push it further. If I can't, then I know they got to go back in. It is a lot of work starting from seed. It is. I would love to get a roll around cart that the starts could go on to move in and out if needed. Yeah, see, I have that cart, Gwen, but it just, when you go to roll it through the door, you hit the threshold and the plants all fall over and stuff like that. So it's actually easier because I've got those huge metal institutional trays that people use for like cooking. And that's what I have 3 of them on. Holman said a week here also. Morning, Blue. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, peppers are harder to grow from seed. I've had no problems with peppers growing from seed. I have had problems with them fruiting. That's what drives me nuts. So that's why I didn't bother with them this year. I saw an idea today, and I was telling Gwen about it. You know those clear plastic jugs, not the milk jugs, but like they're a little taller, like water comes in them from like the Dollar Tree and Dollar General. You can cut those jugs in half and you can put water in the bottom in a reservoir and plant 1 cabbage plant per container. And I was thinking, wow, if they're all watered, I could do a row of them by the raised bed and cover them up. I wonder how that would work. I have no issues growing peppers from seeds other than last year not getting the seeds that they were supposed to be. Yep. I'm upright and my eyes are open and I have coffee right now. That's aces. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, a grow mat makes a world of difference starting seeds. Absolutely. My tomatoes are on the grow mat and they are just like loving it. My tomato plants don't get pollinated. I even tried a Q-tip in my finger flick. Really? Wow. That's wild. I'm surprised. Try putting some sugar water on your patio. That might attract bees up there. Because if I remember correctly, you're higher up and you have a balcony. I got to be honest, Ian says we used starts for quite a while. This is the first year we were about 99% from seed. Some have grown, some haven't, but there's still time. And there is nothing wrong with seeds or starts. Whatever fits what you need to do and what you want to do and works for you, you do you, boo. Because here's the thing. We have bought starts, and I may buy starts because like lemon balm. If my lemon balm didn't make it in the container over the winter, I'm going to buy another lemon balm. I bought peppers from the nursery. I bought jalapenos from the nursery. It just doesn't pay for me to waste my time and space. So that's fine. I started these from seed, and like a lot of you know, many of these seeds were getting older in my seed bag. And so I was like, I want to use up a lot of these seeds because they probably won't germinate. Some of them are from 2020. Well, I had 150 something tomato plants germinate, but I'm thrilled because I was able to give them to people who really enjoyed them and were excited to get them. Or you can do what Barb is doing. Barb's Country Home, she's having a sale this weekend with her starts, which I think is amazing. And I may do that in the future, but it's not, you do whatever works for you. That's the biggest thing. I had a bunch of flowers, but I only got 1 tomato. Gotcha. Yes, good luck, Barb, this weekend. Good luck. I don't have any fancy equipment, so my seeds don't go in until around now, and that's okay. Probably this weekend if I can get the rest of the fresh produce process first. Good for you. I have the heat mat and I have the grow lights, and I feel that those are crucial for us. And between those two and the fan, I find that we no longer have leggy seedlings. We have better germination rates in our cold climate, and it works. Strange reality. My granddad used to walk through the garden with a fly swatter, lightly spank the tomato plants. I didn't know then what he was doing. That's a good idea. Oh, that's awesome, Jen, Northern Girl Hobbies. Thank you. I think I'm going to try it. And the reason why I liked it is because they're self-watering and I could cover them and not have to keep opening them up. I don't know if we battle with cabbage moths here. I'm going to assume we do, but I've never had luck with cabbage, so. Oh, Andale, you can do anything, girl. You can do anything, I'm telling you. I used to buy all my tomato and pepper plants till they got to a price I was unwilling to pay. Yeah. No kidding. Yes, and Barb is selling candied almonds too. Yep, I totally understand, Blue. The power thing is definitely a big issue. I get it. Tickling the plants matters. That's right. That's right. Oh, no worries, Heather. Milk and honey, enjoy. Eat your dinner. Get your dinner ready. So yeah, so everything's doing well. I will say this, like I know that green beans are a direct sow. They're not something you start seeds inside. Well, I got tired of last year. I planted them 3 times. They didn't germinate well. And so I planted them in the seed snails. They're already doing well. So I'm pretty excited. In fact, I found that they had a better germination rate already in the seed snail versus in the regular seed tray, even though I soaked them. So I thought that was pretty cool. A small solar system can power the grow lights and small fans for a few hours. Good point. Good point. Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, gardening is what you want it to be. And you know me, I don't like gardening, can't stand it. I could live without it, but I want to grow my own food. So it's not like I go in the garden and I frolic around and I sit there and I go, oh, this brings me so much joy. No, I want the food. When I harvest, that's what brings me joy. So I do beans and peas in trays before planting them out. I do everything that way, really. I did my peas that way in the past, and other times I've direct sowed them. Either way, they didn't do well. But I'm definitely doing my beans because then I know what are there. What germinated and what's going out, because I wanted a large number of green bean plants. Oh my word, Tomato Cousin told me last night he has 2 75-foot rows of green beans planted. Oh my gosh. I wish we had the room. That's why I was thinking about the cabbage idea, because I was thinking if they're self-watering, I can keep them covered to keep bugs out. And then I can also make a new space for them versus using garden space. But that would be really cool. Barb's Country Home seeds. You grow from seeds too, Barb, I think. That's what you meant? I think so. But I wanted to show you, I'm giving you guys a sneak peek of the seed snail rolls. How they're doing, but I will do a video. That's how they look right now. And then this is that's the beans. So that's pretty cool. My cabbage grew to about 3 feet in diameter. I have to look at mine, Annette, because I don't think mine are that big one. They're not that big, but I have to look. I'll let you know, though. I'm going to learn foraging. I can't garden with hubby. Oh, gotcha. I direct sow the beans and a lot of things here in Ontario. Peas I start tomorrow with some other stuff I have planted. Good deal. Has anyone used thin Pellon for bug protection instead of buying insect fabric? I have not. Thank you, Holman's Homestead. Thank you, guys. If I direct sow, it encourages vermin because you know we live in town, so we don't want that. No, not at all. The whole plant is 3 feet. Yep. Huh. I'll have to look. Hey, Jake, Nunya, Texas. Hope you're doing well. Well, we have the long daylight hours that they have too. I mean, we're still just getting dark now, actually. Ontario's growing season is harsh. Yep. If anyone needs serrano or habanero pepper seeds, contact Barb. She's got some for you. That's awesome. How's your little possum doing, Jake? I saw your video. And your little emus. Yeah, I'm trying to think, Annette. I have to look. I know that they would need to be supported. But I will have to, I'm still looking into it. I'm just trying to figure out a way to do it. Consider planting on an arc. Lost about 2 rows of cantaloupe and loofah. Oh, sorry. Oh, he's good. Barb, I may take you up on the serranos for next year. Cool. We have a neighbor, a friend of ours who gives us serranos, and I can't believe how amazing they did. Everybody's talking about Jake's the possum. You got to see this. It's funny. I think it was a post that Jake had about a possum. Pete the possum. Oh, you do have a heart, Jake. You do. Feeding that little baby possum. Petey. That's funny. So what other seedling ideas do you think that are important for people to know? I know that Gwen waited a while because she kept getting downpours of rain, and that's not good for the seedlings when you're putting them outside. Like Humphrey the Bass, yeah. Good night, Holman's Homestead. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Hope Mom is doing well. Take care, you guys. It's behind cold steel, but love is there. We have a possum too, and we call him Art Bark. Oh, the depth to plant the seedlings. So Heather brought that up. I think that's a really good point. So you guys know when you do tomatoes, right, you want to bury them deeper in the ground. So talk about the depth to plant your seedlings when you put them out there. Gwen says mine were ready to go in the ground and I had to wait almost a month because it was too wet to plant anything. That's a big deal. You don't want them drowning or getting broken. And down here, if you plant when the ground is super wet and the temp is warm, the plants wilt. Good point. Barb has another pregnant cat that showed up too. Jeez. Yeah, I think that's important. I make sure to bury my tomatoes pretty deep down. The other stuff I plant at pretty level. I don't know, does anybody have any feedback on that? I think it's peppers and tomatoes you can plant deeper. We don't have any strange pets here at all. Free opossum, going once, going twice. Sold to Jake, Nunya, Texas. But it's so cute, right? No, thank you. We collect misfit animals. Well, then you need to collect Jake's opossum. Any seedlings started indoors that have gone leggy, you can plant as deep as you like up to the first adult leaves. They all do fine from that. That's good advice. I like that. Pete is sleeping with the chicks. Barb says, nope. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Trying to think what else. Let's see. Possums are not cute, not welcome here. They carry and spread EPM, that is a hard equine disease. Ooh. Ugh. I chase anything wild away. I don't want it here. I put 9 pepper plants out in the garden, grown from seed. I was so proud. The darn squirrels have eaten 2 already. Anyone know how to keep squirrels out of your garden, little rascals? Gwen had that problem with squirrels last year. Anybody know how to keep squirrels out of the garden? I don't, because I don't have to deal with them, or I haven't had to deal with them, I should say. Anybody have any feedback for Anne on that? I think that would be really helpful. And I wonder if you can put little cloaks over them, those like plastic, like a milk jug cut and put it over it to protect it. I don't know if they could probably get under it, but I'm just trying to think of ways to protect it. Possums in Australia are not cute either. They sound like the grudge and are completely incontinent. If they start nesting in your roof, good luck. Ooh. Hey, Smoky Mountain Blessed. Hope you're doing well, Joy. Put a squirrel feeder close by. Huh. So people are saying maybe feed the squirrels. That might help. I don't know. I'm a little leery of that because what I worry about is if you feed them, then they're going to keep coming back and expect whatever is there is theirs. Yeah, no, I get that, Jake. Squirrel is delicious, but it depends on where you live that you're able to eradicate the squirrel populations. Some people can't where they are. A cat sounding sensor. Oh, Barb says we feed the squirrels and they don't mess with my pepper plants. I didn't know that. There you go. I like the cat sounding sensor. Ryan was playing a bald eagle sound bite outside. It was on a reel and the chickens took off. It was funny. And Barb's got a lot of pepper plants. Yeah, here they say they taste like turpentine, Jake, because they eat a lot of pine needles. A lot of people will go across the state to shoot stuff like that because there's cornfields and stuff. I think that's a good idea then. That was just my gut, thinking, but that's a good thought. I like that. So you feed them and they don't mess with your pepper plants. What do you feed them, Barb? Nuts? How do you keep squirrels or raccoons out of the bird feeders either. Good luck with that. Soak them in buttermilk. We will try. I don't see a lot of squirrels here. They don't bother with anything. Maybe sprinkle with pepper. I have no clue. I tried the plastic globes. Barb feeds peanuts. I would so start making baskets with the amount of pine needles you have. Yeah, I'm so tired of looking at pine needles. From raking them and stuff. That bothers me. Hey, Christine, Mrs. Gilliam Farms. You know you're a gardener when nuts and plants fall out of your pockets from other places you visited. You know, I'm going to look that up. Hold on a minute, Andale. I'm going to look that up. Cayenne pepper is one of the best humane squirrel repellents available. That's what they said. Capsaicin is added to wild bird foods as a powder or oil, mainly to deter squirrels, raccoons, and other mammals. Any repellent, granular or liquid, that contains cayenne or capsaicin is very effective against squirrels. Yeah, that's what I knew you were in a neighborhood, so you couldn't process them. I knew that, Ann. We put pine cones on top of our potted plants to keep critters out. Yeah, they eat the pine cones here. I watch them eat them. Oh, I can't believe they eat them. They have such sharp points on them, and they sit there. The chickens eat them too. I wonder if a cat sound thingy would drive the chickens nuts. I don't know, Ann. I mean, I have chickens that free range, and we have a cat that walks right through the yard, doesn't bother them. But try the cayenne pepper. Yeah, you get tons of acorns, Jake. That's awesome. We get tons of pine cones and pine needles. Raccoons climb up the ladder I use to fill the feeders we put up high. Oh, yeah, they are all over the place. All over the place. See if I missed anything. Oh, yeah, and you might be able to trap them versus the other alternative, like with a have a heart trap. Or squirrels and chickens, leave them alone. Maybe Texas pine cones taste bad. No, I think that they eat it here, and it's just because that is what's here to eat. You know, that's what's abundant. That's what's here. Google cayenne pepper. I mean, it looks like that and capsaicin they put on bird feed and stuff. So I wonder, maybe making a circle around it. Good night, Alicia. Strange reality. But it's just funny because they eat the pine cones and our pine cones, like I said, they have these sharp points on them. I can't believe it. That's why I'm convinced our chickens get bumblefoot. Yeah. Shot of cayenne. Shot of cayenne for you and a shot for the seedlings. That would be really good. Any other last minute feedback for folks for seedlings? I'm just curious. So if you're watching the replay, we've got stuff in the chat. And the other thing is, what are you guys up to this weekend? Good night, Jake. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Yeah, chickens are not bothered by heat at all. Not at all. Maybe because I have a bird feeder and that keeps them from eating my pine cones. Possibly. Heather said, be consistent on your watering schedule. That's very important. I do that, but I also tend to let them dry out a little as they get older because I want them to be a little hardier. Seedlings are more tough than you think, but leave them until they have adult leaves to up pot. They will do much better. Awesome. Good tips. Annette is putting some zucchini seeds in the dirt. That's awesome. Milk and Honey is planting tons of bulbs and going mushrooming. Ooh, nice. Working around outside, lots of things to do. Cool. We need to finish the tree project on the back part of the property, but the problem is they keep threatening snow. And now it's next week. They're considering snow again. So we don't want cut log piles laying around in the snow because they will stay frozen for way too long. So we're just waiting. We did get a good deal on culled wood at our local hardware store. And we have the wood to repair the meat bird pen. So that's good. Jen is editing stuff and planning a few more things. Seedling duty also. The tasks never end. They never do. Barb had a bad storm the other day, still cleaning up all the tree branches. Ugh. Crazy. Gwen said plant seedlings in pots big enough so they don't have to be up potted. They don't go through the shock of transplant. Absolutely. Yeah, so we're going to get our potatoes in this weekend. I wanted to get my onions in, but my onions I planted last year on 425. However, next week we are looking at very cold temps at night and also some snow. So because they are already growing, the sets are already grown in the pantry, I am going to wait on that. Did the storm come by your house, Gwen? So yeah, so we're still holding off and waiting, but we'll probably do the potatoes and get them in the ground because we will be almost 70 again tomorrow. Up in Rapid, I think it's going to be like 75 or warmer. So that'll be exciting. I'm just going to take a look real quick. So they're saying 73 here tomorrow. So it'll be a lot warmer in Rapid City. 80 mile per hour winds. Holy cow, Barb. That's crazy. Good night, Jen. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you stopping by, friend. Keep doing all the stuff. Hey, a little fish in the kitchen. Hope you're doing well. All right. Oh, wait a minute. We had high winds today. It blew the neighbor's screen tent over. Oh, that's awful. We bought our potato seed and onion sets today. We'll wait until later next week to plant. Do you think that we should wait on our potatoes? They usually say Good Friday here, Annette, but I don't know. I figured the potatoes would be fine because they're under the ground. Even if it gets cold and snows. So I'm just kind of trying to figure things out. 68 tomorrow in Northwest Oregon. Very cool. Hey, Mountain Grandma. Yeah, Marcel, it's actually been beautiful here. It's not that cold at all. We're going up and down, which is typical. So we'll be going down next week. Your potatoes will be okay. We have to make a new bed first. Gotcha. John built me 2 more raised beds. He's the bomb. That's awesome. Well, then we are definitely planting potatoes on Sunday, and we will see how that goes. And then once we get through this cold snap, hopefully that's the last one. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Lisa Colovi. You are awesome. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I think we're like 57 now, which is pretty delightful for us. I will take it. All right, guys. Well, I am going to get going. Thanks for all the information. People watching the replay will get a lot of help out of this for the seedlings. So I thank you all very, very much. Oh, Fun Mountain Grandma. Good deal. She got her straw bales. When am I putting my tomatoes in the greenhouse? Usually the end of May, Barb. End of May. And that's because our nights get cold. We can have frost as late as June. So, but yes, thank you, Lisa Colovi. I appreciate you. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate you guys. And stay tuned for the new series I was talking about. Again, the cookbook. Feel free to email me, yogihellowfarm20@gmail.com if you want to know more about it. And we'll see y'all next week. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.